Hello, I'm Nigel Pollard and you're watching Brighton Vibe TV. Every week we'll be bringing you a unique inside perspective on Brighton's music and culture. Today we are joined by a very special guest, Ben Poole, whose playing style and technique have been compared to blues legends such as Jimi Hendrix and Stevie Ray Vaughan. Ben has jammed with Jeff Beck, received rave reviews in the music press and praise from established blues artists such as Gary Moore. The Ben Poole Band are a regular fixture on the Brighton circuit and they tour extensively around the UK and Europe. Ben's stated ambition now is to become one of the leading blues rock figures in the world. Hi Ben.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Not too bad.
So for people who don't really know you or your music, could you give us a little brief introduction to yourself and your band?
Basically I'm a blues rock guitar player. I've been playing blues since I was about 16 years old, inspired by guys like Jeff Healey, Stevie Ray Vaughan, Jimi Hendrix, and yeah, basically just been gigging loads since I was 16. I'm 22 years old now. Things are just starting to kind of kick off for me. Got the chance to play with some really great other guitarists on the scene, and yeah, I'm just trying to get out there and make a living from it as best I can, you know.
You moved down to Barton Le Clay?
Yeah, Barton Le Clay. Yeah,
when you were 6?
We just moved there and I had my 6th birthday in that house in Barton Le Clay, just like right in between Bedford and Luton. I'd been given a guitar when I was about 9. By my mum and dad bought me one. My dad used to be a professional musician when he was younger, so they kind of tried to encourage me to get into it. And to be honest, I really didn't get on with it too well. I was kind of a hyperactive kid and I just wanted to be outside playing football all the time.
It's said on your MySpace that the first track that made you sort of realise just what the guitar could do for you was Voodoo Child?
Yep.
Was that the first piece of music that you'd heard that made you think that way?
That song stuck out, you know. I got a new teacher and he started teaching me all this really cool stuff, and yeah, I just remember going to a lesson once and learning the intro riff to Voodoo Child by Jimi Hendrix, and I was just like, this is what I want to do, you know. You just stuck that on the cassette player and just played that, and I was like, wow, my guitar can do that.
For those people who can't remember what the Voodoo Child intro riff goes like. Fantastic. When you had those lessons at that point, were there other pupils who were at the same level as you?
Yeah, I used to, at that point I think I was actually having lessons with 2 other guys, so it was like 3 of us, we were just kind of friends, and yeah, we were all about the same level.
And at what point did you start to outstrip them?
I think I was 12, 13, so probably when I was 14, 15, and I started hanging around with people that were really into music, and I've always been kind of competitive. And when I saw that they were playing guitar and they were kind of showing off of all this stuff, I was like, right, I really want to be better than you.
Do you think it was purely down to practice, the fact that you started to move ahead?
Yeah. I mean, I was never one of these guys who sat down and played for 10 hours a day, you know, like you hear some people doing. You know, I think it's just little and often. Like, I just pick up a guitar every day, play for an hour and a half.
And is it the same thing that you were playing each time, or did you have like, okay, I'm going to learn this, and then when I've got it, I'm going to move straight on to the next thing?
I think around that time it was. My teacher was just coming up with all these really cool songs. Obviously I did Voodoo Child with Jimi Hendrix, and it was like Metallica, Fade to Black. I remember that being a tune I practiced all summer once, just to try and get every little bit of it. You know, there was so much cool stuff in that song. And then like Guns N' Roses, Sweet Child of Mine. I remember learning that for a long time.
What was it that made you decide to come down to Brighton?
I was thinking about going and doing a history degree until like the last year, and I was just hanging around with lots of musically minded people, and one of my friends was trying to get into a place called ACM, which is in Guildford. It's another music college like BIM, but over there. And I just thought, why not? I'll go for an audition there, and I got placed there. And then he didn't get a place there, and he came down to Bin to audition here,
Right.
and I think I basically just followed him.
And now you live here permanently in Brighton.
Yeah,
In Brighton. Yeah. And what do you think of Brighton so far?
Oh, I love it. Yeah, I mean, such a musically vibrant city, you know. So there's so much going on, like, gigging all the time. There's never any shortage of gigs around here.
Was it a conscious decision just to go for bass and drums, pretty much in the same way that Jimi Hendrix did?
I think I was about 17 and I watched a live music DVD of Stevie Ray Vaughan live at the El Macambo. It's just the most incredible performance. It's just in this little smoky blues club in Texas. There's about 200 people there, and he's just absolutely on it. You know, the whole thing. I think he's actually on drugs, but there's no denying his just the fire in his playing. And he just had a simple 3-piece there, and all my heroes they've all been like 3-piece bands.
Is that the first time that you've been in a band where you know instinctively that the other members of that band are going to be able to respond to your mood and anticipate where you're going to go?
Yeah, I think it is actually. Yeah, definitely. They're just I'm just lucky to have some really good musicians playing with me. So, and they're a bit older than me, so they've had a lot of experience.
Who do you think stylistically you are sort of more close to?
I don't know. I like to think I've got lots of guys in me. I've got lots of influences, and try and just hopefully an amalgamation of all of them. You know, like Stevie Ray Vaughan.
That was the first thing that stood out for me when as soon as I listened to your music,
Yeah.
I heard Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Yeah,
instantly.
Yeah. I'm trying to get away from that a little bit because there's a lot of guitar players that are very Stevie Ray Vaughan out there. They're just trying to find your own style a bit more, because I know Stevie was such a legend, you know. He's an easy way into the blues. Like, that's the same for me. He was an easy way into it because it's just, he's got the rock edge. It's loud. It's in your face. It's, you know, really full on. Whereas if you go straight into something like Robert Johnson or Son House, some really early, you know, Delta Mississippi sort of blues, it can be quite hard.
Can you play sort of Delta blues on electric?
Well, yeah, it's just kind of, it's a lot of open.
You can get so much more response from electric guitar than you can from an acoustic.
Yeah.
I mean, if we change that over...
Yeah, it's kind of hard to demonstrate on this guitar. It's not really set up for slide, but, you know, a lot of those guys would be using the slide a lot. And